Here's a list of influential and enriching books that are often recommended to read before turning 30. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, 1984 by George Orwell. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde by Junot Díaz. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Wilde, From Lost to Found on the Pacific Crest Trail by Cheryl Strayed. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. These books cover a diverse range of genres and themes, offering valuable insights, perspectives, and experiences that can enrich and inspire readers as they navigate the complexities of adulthood. To Kill a Mockingbird is a classic novel written by Harper Lee. First published in 1960, set in the fictional town of Macomb, Alabama, during the Great Depression. The story is narrated by Jean Louise Scout Finch, a young girl who recounts her experiences growing up in the racially charged atmosphere of the American South. The novel follows Scout's father, Atticus Finch, a respected lawyer, as he defends Tom Robinson, a black man falsely accused of raping a white woman, through the trial and its aftermath. The novel explores themes of racial injustice, moral growth, and empathy. One of the central conflicts revolves around Atticus's efforts to instill in his children a sense of compassion and fairness, even in the face of prejudice and hatred from their community. Scout learns important lessons about courage, integrity, and the importance of standing up for what is right, regardless of the consequences. The novel also features memorable characters such as Boo Radley, a reclusive neighbor who becomes a source of mystery and fascination for Scout and her brother Jack. As the children navigate the complexities of their small town, they come to understand the harsh realities of bigotry and the power of empathy and understanding. To Kill a Mockingbird has been praised for its sensitive portrayal of social issues and its timeless message of tolerance and justice. It continues to resonate with readers of all ages, sparking important conversations about race, class, and the human capacity for goodness and evil. The Catcher in the Rye is a novel by J.D. Salinger. First published in 1951, the story is narrated by Holden Caulfield, a troubled and cynical teenager who has recently been expelled from his prep school. Over the course of a few days in New York City, Holden wanders aimlessly, reflecting on his experiences and grappling with feelings of alienation and disillusionment. Holden struggles to connect with others and often feels isolated and misunderstood. He longs for authenticity and despises what he perceives as the phoniness of the adult world. Throughout the novel, he encounters various people and situations that highlight his sense of alienation and his yearning for genuine human connection. One of the central themes of the novel is the loss of innocence and the transition from childhood to adulthood. Holden is fixated on the idea of preserving innocence and protecting children from the harsh realities of the adult world. The novel's title is derived from Holden's fantasy of being a catcher in the rye, saving children from falling off a cliff into the complexities of adulthood. The Catcher in the Rye has been widely praised for its authentic portrayal of adolescence and its exploration of universal themes such as identity, loneliness, and the search for meaning. It has also sparked controversy and debate over its depiction of teenage rebellion and its use of profanity and mature themes. Despite this, it remains a beloved and influential work of American literature. resonating with readers of all ages for its honesty and emotional depth. 1984 is a dystopian novel written by George Orwell and published in 1949. Set in a totalitarian society ruled by the party and its enigmatic leader Big Brother, the story follows Winston Smith, a low-ranking member of the party who works for the Ministry of Truth. The party controls every aspect of life, manipulating history, language, and even individual thought through pervasive surveillance and propaganda. Winston rebels against the oppressive regime by engaging in acts of subversion and seeking out forbidden truths. He forms a clandestine relationship with Julia, a fellow party member, and together they strive to maintain their autonomy and preserve their humanity in a world where conformity is enforced through fear and coercion. As Winston delves deeper into his rebellion, he becomes increasingly aware of the extent of the party's control and the futility of his resistance. He grapples with questions of truth, power, and the nature of reality, ultimately confronting the horrifying truth about the party's ultimate goals and his own inevitable fate. 1984 explores themes of totalitarianism, surveillance, censorship, and the dangers of authoritarianism. Orwell's depiction of a society stripped of individuality and freedom serves as a warning against the erosion of democracy and the abuse of power. The novel's enduring relevance has cemented its status as a classic of dystopian literature, inspiring countless adaptations, discussions, and reflections on the nature of tyranny and the importance of preserving liberty and truth. The Alchemist is a novel written by Brazilian author Paulo Coelho, first published in Portuguese in 1988. The story follows Santiago, a young Andalusian shepherd, who embarks on a journey to fulfill his personal legend or his true purpose in life. Along the way, he encounters various obstacles, meets intriguing characters, and learns important lessons about following one's dreams and listening to the wisdom of the universe. Set in exotic locations such as Spain, Egypt, and the Sahara Desert, The Alchemist blends elements of adventure, spirituality, and philosophy. The novel explores themes such as destiny, self-discovery, and the interconnectedness of all things through Santiago's quest for treasure and self-realization. Coelho encourages readers to reflect on their own aspiration and the pursuit of their dreams. Central to the novel is the concept of the personal legend, which Coelho defines as the unique calling or purpose that each individual possesses. Santiago's journey serves as a metaphor for the quest for self-fulfillment and the pursuit of one's true destiny. Along the way, he learns valuable lessons about resilience, perseverance, and the importance of embracing the present moment. The Alchemist has been translated into numerous languages and has sold millions of copies worldwide. It has been praised for its lyrical prose, inspirational message, and universal appeal. The novel's timeless wisdom and uplifting themes continue to resonate with readers of all ages and backgrounds, making it a beloved classic of contemporary literature. The Bell Jar is a semi-autobiographical novel written by American poet and author Sylvia Plath, first published in 1963 under the pseudonym Victoria Lucas. The novel tells the story of Esther Greenwood, a young woman from the suburbs of Boston who is awarded a summer internship at a prominent magazine in New York City. However, instead of finding fulfillment and success, Esther descends into a downward spiral of depression and mental illness, culminating in a suicide attempt and her eventual institutionalization. Plath's portrayal of Esther's mental breakdown is hauntingly vivid and raw, offering a candid exploration of the challenges of mental illness and the stigma surrounding it. Through Esther's internal monologue, readers gain insight into her struggles with identity, societal expectations, and the pressure to conform to traditional gender roles. The bell jar of the title symbolizes Esther's sense of isolation and suffocation, trapped beneath the glass dome of her own mental anguish, despite the heavy subject matter. The bell jar is also infused with dark humor and sharp wit, showcasing Plath's formidable literary talent. Her prose is lyrical and evocative, capturing the intensity of Esther's emotional turmoil with startling clarity. The novel's unflinching honesty and introspective depth have earned it a place as a seminal work in feminist literature and a classic of modern American fiction. The Bell Jar continues to resonate with readers for its exploration of universal themes such as identity, alienation, and the quest for self-discovery. Plath's powerful portrayal of mental illness remains as relevant today as it was at the time of the novel's publication, making The Bell Jar a timeless and enduring masterpiece of literature. The Picture of Dorian Gray is a novel written by Oscar Wilde and first published in 1890. It tells the story of Dorian Gray, a young and handsome man who becomes the subject of a painting by artist Basil Hallward, influenced by the hedonistic views of his friend Lord Henry Wotton. Dorian wishes to remain youthful and beautiful forever, and he unwittingly makes a Faustian bargain. The novel explores themes of vanity, moral decay, and the consequences of living a life devoid of responsibility, as Dorian indulges in a life of debauchery and vice. His portrait ages and reflects the true state of his soul, while he remains perpetually young and untouched by the passage of time. Throughout the novel, Wilde offers sharp social commentary on the superficiality of Victorian society and the dangers of pursuing beauty and pleasure at the expense of morality and integrity. The character of Dorian Gray serves as a cautionary tale about the perils of unchecked desire and the corrupting influence of external influences. The Picture of Dorian Gray caused controversy upon its publication due to its themes of homosexuality, decadence, and moral ambiguity. Wilde faced criticism and public condemnation for his work, and the novel was initially censored and heavily edited. However, it has since become a classic of English literature and is celebrated for its rich prose, wit, and exploration of complex moral dilemmas. The novel's enduring relevance lies in its exploration of timeless themes such as the nature of beauty, the pursuit of pleasure, and the consequences of moral decay. It continues to captivate readers with its compelling narrative and thought-provoking insights into human nature, making it a seminal work in the canon of English literature. Siddhartha is a novel by the German Swiss author Hermann Hesse. Published in 1922, it tells the story of Siddhartha, a young Brahmin in ancient India, who embarks on a spiritual journey to seek enlightenment and meaning in life. The novel is divided into several parts, each representing a stage in Siddhartha's life and spiritual evolution. At the beginning of the story, Siddhartha is dissatisfied with the conventional teachings of his upbringing and seeks a different path to enlightenment. He joins a group of ascetics, the Samanas, and practices extreme forms of self-denial and meditation. However, he eventually realizes that this path does not lead to true understanding. Siddhartha then encounters the Buddha, who imparts wisdom and insight that resonate deeply with him. Despite being impressed by the Buddha's teachings, Siddhartha decides to continue his journey independently, believing that true wisdom cannot be taught, but must be discovered through personal experience. Throughout his travels, Siddhartha experiences various aspects of life including love, wealth, and suffering. He forms deep connections with others, including his friend Govinda and a courtesan named Kamala. However, he ultimately realizes that material wealth and worldly pleasures do not bring lasting fulfillment. In the end, Siddhartha achieves enlightenment by meditating beside a river and experiencing a profound sense of unity with the universe. He learns to embrace the cyclical nature of existence and finds peace within himself. The novel concludes with Siddhartha passing on his wisdom to Govinda, who becomes his spiritual successor. Siddhartha explores themes of self-discovery, spiritual growth, and the search for meaning in life. It draws heavily from Buddhist and Hindu philosophy, advocating for a holistic approach to enlightenment that involves both inner reflection and engagement with the world. Hesse's prose is lyrical and reflective, inviting readers to ponder the deeper mysteries of existence alongside Siddhartha on his journey to enlightenment. Norwegian Wood is a novel by the acclaimed Japanese author Haruki Murakami, first published in 1987, set in Tokyo during the late 1960s. The story follows Toru Watanabe, a young college student grappling with love, loss, and the search for identity amidst the social upheaval of the era. The narrative begins with Toru reminiscing about his youth and his relationships with two very different women, Naoko and Midori. Naoko is a fragile and troubled young woman who was the girlfriend of Toru's best friend, Kazuki, who committed suicide. Toru feels a deep connection to Naoko and is drawn to her emotional vulnerability. As Toru navigates his complex feelings for Naoko, he meets Midori, a lively and outspoken girl who contrasts sharply with Naoko's reserved demeanor. Toru finds himself torn between his attraction to Midori and his sense of duty and loyalty to Naoko, who is struggling with her mental health. Throughout the novel, Murakami explores themes of love, loss, and the struggle to find one's place in the world. The story is infused with melancholy and introspection, as Toru grapples with the existential questions that arise from his experiences with Naoko and Midori. Norwegian Wood is also known for its evocative portrayal of Tokyo in the late 1960s, capturing the mood and atmosphere of the era with vivid detail. Murakami's prose is characterized by its poetic language and surreal imagery, creating a dreamlike quality that enhances the novel's emotional impact. Ultimately, Norwegian Wood is a poignant meditation on the complexities of human relationships and the fleeting nature of youth and love. Murakami's exploration of themes such as alienation, longing, and the passage of time has resonated with readers around the world, making the novel one of his most beloved works. The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde is a novel written by Junot Díaz, published in 2007. The story revolves around Oscar D. Lean, a Dominican-American from Paterson, New Jersey, who is an overweight, nerdy, and socially awkward young man. The novel follows Oscar's life and struggles, as well as those of his family, against a backdrop of political upheaval in the Dominican Republic and the challenges of immigrant life in the United States. Oscar is a passionate fan of science fiction, fantasy, and role-playing games, and he dreams of becoming a writer. However, he faces numerous obstacles in his quest for love, acceptance, and identity, including rejection, bullying, and heartbreak. Interspersed with Oscar's story are the narratives of his mother, Belly, and his sister, Lola, which provide insight into the family's history and the impact of the Trujillo dictatorship on their lives. Belly's story, in particular, reveals the trauma and violence she endured in the Dominican Republic, as well as her resilience and determination to survive. Díaz's novel is characterized by its unique narrative style, which blends elements of magical realism, pop culture references, and Spanish slang. The novel's use of footnotes, non-linear storytelling, and multiple narrators adds depth and complexity to the narrative, inviting readers to engage with themes such as identity, diaspora, and the legacy of colonialism. The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde received widespread critical acclaim and won numerous awards, including the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 2008. It is celebrated for its richly drawn characters, vibrant prose, and powerful exploration of Dominican history and culture, making it a seminal work in contemporary American literature. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a science fiction comedy series written by Douglas Adams, originally starting as a radio comedy broadcast in 1978. It expanded into a series of novels, a television series, comic books, video games, and even a feature film. The story follows the misadventures of Arthur Dent, an ordinary human who was unexpectedly swept off Earth just before its demolition. To make way for a hyperspace bypass, Arthur's friend Ford Prefect, who turns out to be an alien researcher for the titular Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, rescues him. Together, they embark on a journey through space with an eclectic cast of characters, including Zaphod, Beeblebrox, the two-headed, three-armed ex-president of the galaxy, and Trillian, the only other human survivor who Arthur has a romantic interest in. The series is known for its absurd humor, witty satire, and philosophical musings on life, the universe, and everything in between. It explores themes such as the nature of existence, the search for meaning in an incomprehensible universe, and the absurdity of bureaucracy and technology. Central to the story is the eponymous Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, an electronic guidebook containing helpful advice, humorous anecdotes, and the words "Don't Panic" inscribed on its cover in large, friendly letters. It serves as a source of wisdom and comic relief throughout the series, often providing humorous and occasionally inaccurate information about the various planets, species, and phenomena encountered by the characters. Adams' writing is characterized by its clever wordplay, imaginative world-building, and irreverent take on traditional science fiction tropes. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has become a beloved classic of the genre, revered for its wit, originality, and enduring cultural impact. The Handmaid's Tale is a dystopian novel written by Margaret Atwood, first published in 1985. Set in the near future, it presents a society called the Republic of Gilead, which was formed after a Christian fundamentalist group takes over the United States government. The story is narrated by Offred, a handmaid whose sole purpose is to bear children for the ruling class. In Gilead, women are stripped of their rights and classified into different roles based on their fertility. The handmaids, like Offred, are assigned to high-ranking officials and are subjected to ritualized sexual intercourse in a monthly ceremony in the hopes of becoming pregnant. They are forbidden from reading, writing, and forming relationships with others. The Handmaid's Tale explores themes of power, control, and oppression, particularly focusing on the subjugation of women. Atwood's portrayal of a patriarchal society, where women are reduced to their reproductive functions, serves as a critique of gender inequality and the dangers of authoritarianism. The novel also delves into the psychological and emotional toll of living in such a repressive regime, as Offred grapples with feelings of isolation, despair, and defiance through her narrative. Atwood raises questions about identity, freedom, and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of tyranny. The Handmaid's Tale has been praised for its chilling portrayal of a dystopian society and its relevance to contemporary issues surrounding women's rights, reproductive autonomy, and political extremism. It has become a seminal work of feminist literature, sparking discussions and debates about the implications of unchecked power and the importance of individual agency. Wilde, From Lost to Found on the Pacific Crest Trail, is a memoir written by Cheryl Strayed, published in 2012. The book chronicles Strayed's 100-mile solo hike along the Pacific Crest Trail PCT in the western United States, which she embarked on following a period of personal turmoil. Strayed's journey on the PCT serves as a metaphorical and literal journey of self-discovery and healing, struggling with the loss of her mother, the end of her marriage, and a spiral into destructive behavior. She seeks solace and redemption through the challenges of long-distance hiking. Throughout the book, Strayed reflects on her past experiences, including her childhood, her relationship with her mother, and her reckless behavior in the wake of grief. As she traverses the rugged terrain of the PCT, she confronts her demons, finds strength in solitude, and learns to forgive herself for past mistakes. Wilde is not just a story of physical endurance, but also a meditation on grief, resilience, and the power of nature to heal. Through vivid descriptions of the wilderness and encounters with fellow hikers, wildlife, and the elements, Strayed captures the transformative power of the natural world and the profound impact it can have on the human spirit. The book also explores themes of femininity, independence, and empowerment as Strayed navigates the challenges of hiking as a woman alone in the wilderness. Her journey challenges traditional notions of femininity and highlights the strength and resilience of women. Wilde has resonated with readers around the world, inspiring many to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery and adventure. It has been praised for its raw honesty, lyrical prose, and profound insights into the human condition, cementing its place as a modern classic of memoir literature. The Power of Now is a spiritual guidebook, written by Eckhart Tolle, published in 1997. The book emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment and offers practical teachings on how to achieve inner peace and enlightenment. At its core, The Power of Now teaches that the key to true happiness and fulfillment lies in transcending the mind's incessant chatter and connecting with the deeper essence of who we are. Tolle argues that most of our suffering arises from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, and that by focusing on the present moment, we can find inner peace and freedom from suffering. Throughout the book, Tolle introduces various spiritual concepts and practices, including mindfulness, meditation, and self-inquiry, to help readers cultivate a deeper awareness of the present moment. He encourages readers to observe their thoughts and emotions without judgment, and to recognize the underlying sense of presence that exists beyond the mind. Tolle also explores the nature of ego and the role it plays in creating suffering and conflict in our lives. He explains how identifying with the ego leads to a false sense of identity and separation from others, whereas connecting with our true essence, the eternal now, brings about a sense of oneness and inner peace. The Power of Now has resonated with millions of readers worldwide and has been praised for its simplicity, clarity, and transformative impact on people's lives. It offers practical wisdom that can be applied to everyday life, helping readers break free from the grip of the past and future and experience the profound joy and peace that comes from living in the present moment.